get started on an emotional journey to heal from chronic pain or symptoms, and we start looking at our emotional states, it's usually pretty easy to identify certain stressors or life situations that are contributing to your nervous system getting dysregulated, that are maybe contributing to your symptoms and to creating tension in the body. But what a lot of people miss out on this emotional journey, besides the fact that they might have certain situations that are stressing them out, is whatever they might be denying themselves. A lot of people are able to point out what's bothering them, but they're not able to identify what they are denying to themselves, what kind of pleasures, what kind of avenues they're denying themselves. And this is equally important to acknowledge. In this video, I'll focus on the specific aspect of emotional awareness that can lead to more chances of overcoming chronic pain and symptoms and staying pain-free in the long term. So let's get started. Dr. John Sarno, who was a pioneer in the mind-body field, who first made the link between mind and body, between certain chronic symptoms and the mind-body connection, he used the term soothe-rage ratio to explain this concept. He says that everyone has certain amount of stressors in life that are creating rage deep inside. So a lot of, frustrating situations, things that you cannot control or change, okay, that are causing maybe internalized rage. And you can certainly work with that rage, and you can certainly express it and feel it in order to prevent it from causing a buildup of tension and chronic symptoms. However, the soothe-rage ratio also refers to the concept of soothing, the things in your life that create a sort of balance, that avoid the scale from tipping towards the anger and create this balance between frustrating situations and situations or activities that bring joy or pleasure or relaxation. So these things can include things like your hobbies, things like connecting with like-minded people, like taking some time out at the end of the day to really unwind, and so on and so forth. And I've noticed these days especially that while we try to work hard at solving certain emotional problems, while we take therapy to improve our relationships with others, with ourselves, to reduce our anxiety, and we do all sorts of stuff to try to reduce our anxiety or our symptoms, what we usually miss out on are these things that we are forgetting about. These things that we need, but that we're not giving to ourselves. So it might be that your tension, your physical symptoms are being caused not just by these stressors, not just by these situations that maybe are frustrating, maybe a job situation, maybe certain high pressure in your life, in your job or whatever, but your symptoms are also being caused by the fact that you are not allowing yourself to have fun, you're not allowing yourself to engage in activities that bring you peace or positive immersion or joy or connectedness with the world around you, whatever that looks like for you. So this has become increasingly more common these days when people assume certain responsibilities. Let's say you have a family to provide for, or you've just taken out a mortgage, and so your focus is always on working hard, working extra hours, not taking holidays because you want to have enough money in your bank to pay these debts off, to care for your family, and so on and so forth. Or maybe you're studying for something and you've decided to drop your hobby because you just want to focus on your studies, and so on. So some people are pretty good at this kind of self-sacrifice, and it can work in the short term to be disciplined, for sure. But what I see happening is that in the long term, when we keep denying our needs, we also tend to lose sight of those very desires and wishes that we've been having. So a person who used to enjoy, golf, might actually forget that he used to enjoy golf, as now he's spending all of his time with his family and working extra hours, right? And this is when it becomes a problem, when in the long term we're constantly negating ourselves what we need over and over. So, okay, you might be disciplined and say, like, this year we're not going to go on holiday, and that might keep you relatively in balance, But if the second year comes around and your partner convinces you that you should not go on holiday while you feel that you should go, and you're having different priorities, and then again, in order to avoid a conflict, you decide not to go on holiday. Well, that second time round, something inside of you, that part of you who wants it, is going to get really, really angry. And your chronic symptoms might fire up, they might get worse, you might get new symptoms, and then you might start wondering, what is wrong, Because you might already be having therapy, you might already be meditating, tending to your anxiety, maybe also taking care of yourself in some ways, but then you're negating yourself the thing that you want the most, right? Or the thing that used to bring you the most joy in the past. So if you're one of those people who has been working on TMS, neuroplastic pain work for a while, and you haven't seen much progress from the emotional work, I would like you to really focus on what you might be negating yourself. It's not about focusing on the stressful situations in your life on their own. It's not focusing on what you have in your life, but what you don't have in your life that you might need to put in place again, that might give you an outlet for joy or peace or relaxation, and most of all, connection with the world around you and with the people around you. Because at the end of the day, we are born to experience life, right? Every one of us wants to experience life in a specific way, through certain avenues, maybe through creativity, through exploration, through getting to know other people or whatever. And when we deny ourselves those needs, we're doing ourselves a huge disservice. We're limiting our lives. We're putting ourselves in a box for the sake of safety. And this is the issue here, because we do all of these things. We deny ourselves these things because we want to be safe. So we want to be financially safe, or we want other people to like us and approve of us. So that's safe. So it's better than not to do this thing that they might not approve of. Okay. So we do a lot of things in the name of safety, but out of fear of what would happen if we were to do these things that we would actually like to do. And that's the problem there, when we're constantly seeking safety out of a fear-based motivation. So we're not doing something because we fear someone will think negatively about us. Or we're not doing something because we fear it will upset our partner. Or because we fear that we won't be left with much money, or, we won't save enough money or whatever. And this can get to an extreme that we don't just deny ourselves like the big things or the expensive things, which kind of is reasonable if we're saving up, for example, but we start to deny ourselves even the littlest of things. We start to kind of cut down on other things that we enjoy. We start to think twice about buying ourselves even the littlest of things that might bring us joy or that might make us feel good. And this is when it becomes really, really enraging to the self. When the self realizes that we're not doing anything for ourselves, that we're sacrificing everything for the sake of being so-called safe. And it is so common these days for good people, for responsible people to fall into this trap. So this is what I'd like you to think about today and to reflect on. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. What might you be negating yourself that's causing you inner distress and tension? And is there anything, any action you can take that will bring relief, that will bring you some sort of soothing, that will lighten the load for you? And that's all from me for today. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.